You're here because you want to sound natural, like a native speaker. To do that, you may need to remove words and phrases from your vocabulary because they're grammatically incorrect or sound unnatural. That's what you'll do today. Welcome back to JForrest English. Of course, I'm Jennifer. Now let's get started. The first phrase you should remove from your vocabulary is, am I audible? This is grammatically correct, but it's an unnatural textbook expression. It's not what a native speaker would say in most situations. A native speaker would say, can you hear me? Can you hear me? The website Youglish is a great resource to understand how natural a phrase is. Remember, am I audible is grammatically correct. There are 48 references on Youglish, and many of them are non-native speakers, specifically from India. Now, if you look at the phrase, can you hear me on Youglish, there are 4,435 references. That's why this lesson is so important. The next phrase you should remove from your vocabulary, I hear this a lot, especially from Spanish and French speakers, is every morning I take coffee. This is grammatically incorrect. Don't use take with beverages or meals. What verb do we use? Have. So you would say every morning, I have coffee. I start my day by having a cup of tea. Remember, you also use have with meals. I have breakfast at 7 a.m. I always have orange juice with breakfast. Now you can say, I always take coffee to work. Here, when you use take with coffee, it means transport coffee. So from your home to your work in a travel mug or a to-go cup. Speaking of coffee, I recommend that you remove the phrase, I would like a coffee, please. This is grammatically correct, but it's too formal. It sounds like a textbook expression. It's not what I say, and it's not what native speakers say. Native speakers say, I'll have a small Americano, or I'll take a small Americano. That's the most common. Natives also ask a question using can. Can I have, can I get, can I take a large latte? If a native speaker uses the more I would like, we would form the contraction. I'd like a medium black tea. Do you commonly say, I must study? Well, this is grammatically correct, but natives use must with strong obligations. And in my experience, students use must too much. So a strong obligation might be, you must have a valid passport to board this plane. Employees must follow the company dress code. Now, if you say, I must study tonight, just know that a native would hear this as a very strong obligation, because must is used with strong obligations, rules, requirements, or instructions. Now, perhaps sometimes it is a strong obligation for you, but most of the time you should say, I need to study, I have to study. The verbs need and have are used with everyday requirements. Let's review, I'm participating in the conference. This is grammatically correct, but participate in does not mean attend. And many students use this when I know they just mean attend. Because participate in means you're actively involved. For example, I'm participating in the conference. Now, how are you actively involved? Maybe you would say, I'm moderating the Q&A session. Or I'm handing out the agendas. You're actively involved. Most people, though, I'm attending the conference. But I'm not participating in the conference, I'm just an audience member. Instead of attend, you can absolutely say, I'm going to the conference, which would be very common. And instead of participate in, you could just say what you're doing. For example, I'm speaking at the conference. And then it's obvious you're participating in the conference. Our next phrase you should remove from your vocabulary. And I'm teaching this because I shared this image with my students in a live lesson about my weekend. And many of the students said, Jennifer, you did a barbecue. Many comments. But this is grammatically incorrect because you don't do a barbecue, you have a barbecue. So I could say, we had a barbecue. We barbecued. Now notice that is the verb to barbecue and it's in the past simple. In written English, we generally use BBQ, and then to show the past, you would just have a dash and then the D. You could also say, we had some friends over for a barbecue. So a barbecue is the noun form. Let's review, I'm 32 years. What's the issue here? Well, you should remove this because it's grammatically incorrect. There are two options. I'm 32. I'm 32 years old. So we use subject plus the verb be conjugated plus the number, and then you can end it there. I'm 32. Or you can add years old. I'm 32 years old. That's optional. Now, of course, you need to conjugate your verb. You would say, she was 24 when she graduated. You could also say, she graduated when she was 24 years old. Make sure you remove I reached to the airport from your vocabulary because this is grammatically incorrect. You simply reach something. You reach plus noun. I reached the airport at 5 p.m. This is grammatical, but is not commonly used by natives in everyday speech. It is commonly used in your GPS system, so you'll hear a voice that announces you have reached your destination. That's very common with a GPS, but natives generally say, I got to the airport at 5 p.m. So notice here, you get to, you need that preposition to. I got to the airport at 5 p.m. Don't say, borrow me your car, because this is grammatically incorrect. You need to change one word. Lend me your car, because you lend someone something. For example, sorry, I already lent Ashley my car. So that's lend in the past simple, lent. Now you can absolutely use borrow, but make sure you say, can I borrow your car? You borrow something from someone. In this case, the from someone isn't stated because it's obvious that it's from you. If I want to give permission, I could say, yes, you can borrow my car. You can just use borrow something. Don't say I'm in the bus because this is grammatically incorrect. It's the wrong preposition. You need to say I'm on the bus. You could say I'm in the train station. So here the station is a specific enclosed space and you are inside. You could say I'm at the subway station. So you view the subway station as a precise point on a map. You could be outside or inside. And then with certain transportation, you would say I'm in the car. So you simply have to memorize prepositions. Don't say I need to lose my weight. I hear this a lot, but this is grammatically incorrect. You simply say, I need to lose weight. Or maybe your friend remarks, oh, wow, have you lost weight? Have you lost weight? And then you can say, yes, I lost 5 pounds. Or maybe, actually, I gained 3 pounds. So you lose, gain weight. We don't make it possessive and say my weight. You lose, gain weight, and you can lose, gain a specific number of pounds or kilos if that's what you use. Don't say I'm here since Monday. What's the issue? This is grammatically incorrect. You could say I'm here now. This is the present simple for a present fact. I've been here since Monday, or I've been here for 3 days. You need the present perfect with a continuing past action. It started in the past and it continues until now. Or you could say, I got here on Monday. That's the past simple. It's not talking about the continuation, it's talking about your arrival, which is a completed past action. I hear this one a lot. We are 4. So if you're talking about how many people are in your group, maybe for a restaurant reservation, we are 4. This is an awkward direct translation. It's likely how you would say it in your native language, but it's not how we communicate it in English. We simply say there are. So we use there and then are because it's plural. There are 4. There are 4 of us. 4 of us in the group. You could also say we're a group of 4. We have 4 people in our group. You couldn't just say we have 4 people. You would have to say in our group. Or you could even say 4 people are coming. There are always different ways of saying the same thing in English, but sometimes direct translations from your native language just don't work and they sound awkward. Like this one, I have a doubt. A doubt. This is also a direct translation because in English, we don't use the word a doubt, we use a question. I have a question. Now, it is common to use the word doubt. For example, I have some doubts about the project timeline. So here, to have doubts is very common to use it in this plural form. I have doubts about something. So this means you feel uncertain, skeptical, or unconvinced. Also remove I have a query from your vocabulary. This is also a direct translation or simply the wrong word choice. Again, I have a question. A query, this is a technical term, generally used with developers or in a coding environment. This is a request for information from a database or system. In this image here, because the context is this request for information from a database or system, you could say, I have a query. I have a request. But that is not the same as I have a question. Don't say, I'm passing an exam tomorrow. This is grammatically incorrect. It's the wrong word choice because pass means succeed. For example, did you pass your exam? Yes, I passed. Congratulations on passing your exam. The verb take means complete. So when you write an exam or you give the spoken part of your exam, you're not passing the exam, you're taking the exam. So you would say, I'm taking an exam tomorrow, or you could say, I have an exam tomorrow. Now, because have is used for possession, it's not in the present continuous form, it's in the present simple form. Do you want me to keep helping you improve your vocabulary with natural expressions? If you do, put yes, 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 put yes, yes, yes in the comments below. And of course, make sure you like this lesson, share it with your friends, and subscribe so you're notified every time I post a new lesson. And you can get this free speaking guide where I share 6 tips on how to speak English fluently and confidently. You can click here to download it or look for the link in the description. And here's another lesson I know you'll love. Watch it now.